Hey, Dom, you got the book? What the fuck is going on here, bro? Holy shit. Oh, hey, Silver. I'd like you to meet Chun. Well, sorry. I know her as Chun. Her real name's Anna Marie. See, after, my wife's unfortunate accident, well, we can't really get intimate. So, Anna here has offered her services, She's been made aware of the situation, and this is a healthy alternative for us all, since we all agreed, we all consent to this, and it's in a loving manner. She knows my heart is always hers. Chun's man is what I will always be. I would never cheat on my woman. But this is for us both. Hey, you know what, man? If you're gonna start fucking that thing, then I think I'm just gonna let myself out. I don't. I'm gonna take the day off, okay? See you. Alright then. We'll just be here watching this movie. Later. Alright, that Lizard's gone. Hello, Internet, and welcome back to another episode of Plugs Club. It's I, Dom, here with a special guest, Anna Marie. Man, you are quite heavy, but quite fun, my lovely. Anyways, she'll be in the background. This is between you, me, and Lars. So, today, me and the lovely lady decided to watch the film Lars and the Real Doll. And, wow, let me just say, just off the bat, wow, that is an emotional film. Like, seriously, I'd be amiss to say that I didn't cry. I'd be a liar. I'd be a bold-faced liar, and I just can't say that. I cried a lot. I cried kind of like a little bitch. But let's go into the synopsis first and foremost, as quickly as possible. So, the film begins by establishing that Lars is a very antisocial individual. The first scene begins with a woman named Karen, who is revealed to be Lars' sister-in-law. She's married to his brother. Is constantly trying to invite him over for dinner, breakfast, trying to invite him over because he lives in their garage. But he's always, like I said, antisocial, so he's always rejecting the notion. And, she is pregnant, something that, becomes a point later on in the film, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. So, it's shown that at work, that at church, that just everywhere, he is very antisocial because, I guess it's a very small community because you see a lot of recurring characters. Like you see this girl named Margot who he works with, but also goes to his church. And it's blatantly obvious she has a crush on him. Like, she's always trying to talk to him, always trying to, initiate that next step. You know what I mean? Beyond being just friends. But he's very oblivious. Or he just gets very nervous, and that makes him, I don't know, just freeze up. Like I'm doing right now. So, it's shown to you in the very beginning of the film that he is very antisocial. So, one of his coworkers ends up showing him this website of customizable real dolls. And, at the time, when he's being shown, he seems completely disinterested. But, as the title of the fucking movie suggests, he's obviously interested. 6 weeks later, obviously, the doll arrives. And it's fucking wild. Like, this, it just goes off the wall because, he just immediately invites her over to dinner. Like, he takes the doll over to dinner with his brother and his wife, Karen. His brother's name is Gus, and Karen is a wife. So, it is revealed that he is antisocial because his mother had passed during childbirth, giving birth to him. And, he was raised alone because even though he had his brother left at a very young age. And his father was very estranged because he was heartbroken, you know. You know those cases when like one of your parents dies and the other just becomes completely not, you know, just you basically alone. So, you know. I don't want to speak about my relationship with my parents since I don't know them that well, but I get you there, buddy. I get you there. After that, like, they decide, Karen actually is the one that decides to make an appointment for Bianca, the doll, to see this doctor. And this doctor, since it's a small town, she actually doubles as a psychiatrist. Or psychologist. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to think of these words always confuse me. Psychiatrist, psychologist, pediatrician, they always confuse me. I don't know why. So, you know, she's a doctor, but she's also a psychologist. So, you know, what she does is that she evaluates Bianca and acts like she's, you know, doing checkups and shit, but what she's really doing is doing sessions trying to get into Lars's psyche.
Liar, liar, plants for hire.
And figure out, you know, why he has this condition, because, you know, she speaks to Gus and Karen, and she does not believe that Lars is schizophrenic. She actually believes he's only delusional, that this is just like, I wouldn't say like something like an episode, but like it's he doesn't like really have an illness. Like, there's not something, she even says it herself, it's not like there's something broken up there. It's more that he's just going through something, I guess. So like, the best thing to do, she advises, is to go along with the act. And, you know, this stuns Gus. He doesn't go along with the idea. He even goes so far as to straight up tell Lars,
"Bitch, you think anyone could ever love you? You're gonna fucking die before anyone loves you! No one will ever love you! Ugly baby! Ugly baby!"
Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
hey dude, that's a fucking doll. That's a doll that is plastic, it is not real, it's not sentient, and it's not living. And Lars completely dismisses, he does not even acknowledge it. Like, he doesn't flinch, nothing. He does not acknowledge it whatsoever. He just continues on like normal. And, you know, like, it's wild because he ends up taking the doll to church.
Oh, hell no!
He ends up even, like, at one point in the fucking movie, he takes the doll to a damn party, bro. A damn party. But it's crazy, you know, Hollywood. It's obviously fucking Hollywood, because in real life, everyone would just roast his ass.
I'm really about to get your pickle chin that boy. Egg on that collard green head that boy. Oh, head on boy, your dirt ass boy, stink ass boy, afro head ass.
That's probably steal the doll, do all kinds of fucked up shit. But, you know, it's a movie. So, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be so rough on it. It did make me cry.
Bitch!
It was very emotional and heart-driven, but, you know, everyone in the town is actually very supportive. Like, to the point where, like, they play along with it too. Like, they give her a job. I know, right? Like, how the fuck does that work?
Five Nights at Freddy's, that's where I wanna be.
But they give her a job, like, they give her haircuts. They make Bianca a volunteer for kids. Like, they'll like sit her up on a chair and then like put like a little radio, so like she'll be reading a book, but it's not really her reading, but it's still sweet. It's still a sentiment. But like, this eventually does lead to a little bit of wear and tear between Lars and Bianca, because it shows his bitter side.
My name Jeff.
That comes out when he's alone. Like, he doesn't like feeling devalued. Like, he's a very antisocial person. This is some point I should have made earlier, but I'm sorry. Like, all my notes are on my phone, and I do not have a computer, so you know, if it ever seems very amateur, everything is on my phone. So my script is on my phone, my editing is on my phone.
Do you fake your videos? No.
You just got Brent Rivera, bitch.
Excuses aside, I can't see my script, so it's kind of a jumbled mess.
Anyways,
This causes like kind of a rift because it shows that Lars doesn't like being alone. He becomes very bitter. He becomes very bitter when he's alone. And this causes him to make a scene where he, you know, screams at Bianca, and then everyone's like, hey, yo, it's not cool what you did. You can't, like, yell at her. She has her own life. She's her own woman. Like, you have to respect that. She's not your object.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Right. They don't say this because obviously that'd be fucking hilarious if they said that. You can't objectify this object. But what they say is, like, she's not, like, a self-respecting woman isn't gonna be there at the fucking ring of your bell, you know what I mean? She's gonna have her own life. That's what they say. You know, it'd be hilarious if they said, she's not your object, motherfucker, because technically she is. But this just leads to fucking Lars causing a scene and then Karen confronting him and being like, you shouldn't be mad, man. And then she's like, you know what? No, like, it's not fair. It's not fair that nobody cares. Even this girl who's, like, supposed to love and care about me and be my girlfriend, even she doesn't give a fuck about me. And then Karen, like, this scene is emotionally driven. Like, she's in tears. She starts tearing up and she's like, you know, it's not, like, you can't fucking say that. You can't fucking say that, bro. You can't come around here saying nobody cares when everyone in this town literally bends over backwards for you. Like, nobody in this town would have accepted Bianca. Nobody would have given her a job. Nobody would be so nice to her and inviting, and she wouldn't have a fucking social life if it wasn't for this entire town being loving and supporting of you. It's like, she wouldn't be welcome here if it wasn't for you, because we fucking love you. We're doing all this because of you. We love you. And, like, I'm telling, like, the way I'm saying it does not do it any justice. Like, once you see this scene, you'll just start to cry, dude, because I fucking did. I broke down in tears.
Bitch!
I was like, damn, bro, like, fuck. Because I think we've all been there, you know? When we're depressed, we start to think, oh, nobody gives a fuck. But it's like, what a bunch of people don't realize is that you actually are just isolating yourself because of your grief. You're so grief-stricken that you isolate yourself because you just feels like nobody understands. And it's, you know, you get caught up in your own bullshit. But it's beautiful when, like, people fucking go out of their way and they reach out. Like, once you get out of the depression and you look back and you realize how much people, like, were supporting you and how much people did for you, it's a really beautiful thing. Like, you start to realize, holy shit, like, that depression was just full of shit. That mind state that I was in is full of shit. It's not worth staying in that state of mind, because all that's not true. Because, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be here where I am today if it wasn't for all the people who love me, you know? That's just a note I want to pass on to anyone who's viewing this and might be depressed. If you think nobody loves you, I'm sorry, that's just not true. Because even fucking Adolf Hitler was loved, you know what I mean? Like, I guarantee you there are people who love you, even if it's not your immediate family, because I know how that feels. You know what I mean? I know how it feels to have parents that don't really love you. So, just know, there are people who love you. I love you. You know what I mean? I love you. Even though it doesn't mean anything and I'm just some guy at a fucking screen, I do love you. You know? So, life is worth living. Trust me. Because even if your immediate family doesn't love you, you can make your own family. That's the beauty of it. But it's an emotionally driven scene. It's beautiful. So then, like, after this, like, you start seeing breaks. Like, breaks in the Matrix, you know what I mean? Like, breaks in the act. You, like, they start fighting more, Lars and Bianca, and then, like, eventually, this leads to Margot, the girl I mentioned before. She invites Lars out.
Let's go bowling, 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 bowling. Let's go bowling, 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 bowling.
sure. Like it takes him a while to accept, but he does accept. And then, you know, they go and they're having a really nice time. Some coworkers kind of crash in. This leads to him being like, you know what? I just want you to know that I'm not gonna cheat on my girl. Like, I'm not that kind of guy. Like, nothing is gonna happen between us, Margot. And then, like, she's visibly disappointed, but she doesn't say anything. But yeah, you could like read it on the actress's face. She's amazing. Like, you could tell she's disappointed as fuck, and she wanted to kiss him, but that didn't happen.
Gay!
But you know, after this, the next scene, again, more breaks happen because like throughout the whole film, like it is shown that, you know, he doesn't like being touched. It even physically causes him pain, but beyond that, like he represses a lot. I know this. I can tell a lot of his body language because he has a lot of the tics, and hell, the character is fucking reflective of myself. I'll just say that now. But it's just reflective of myself. But whenever something bothers him, he just kind of internalizes it. And like you could tell he's like struggling and having a fucking breakdown, but he just keeps it on the low. He keeps it quiet. He just internalizes the breakdowns. But he has these more and more, up to the point where like the next scene immediately after that, it comes to a head where he eventually has a break in the whole delusion, and Bianca isn't responding to him anymore. And, you know, immediately he says that she's unconscious and that she's sick. They take her to a hospital, which just that wouldn't happen in the real world, but in the movie, they take her to the hospital and it's revealed that she's dying. And like the whole town starts to worry, so much so to the point that they all like start sending flowers, and like some people even start to watch over Lars, like to make sure he's okay. It's really sweet. It's a very sweet film, even though it's not realistic at all. It's a very sweet film. But you know, eventually, yeah, a funeral is held and she dies. That's a weird thing to say, but you know, the brother like thanks the therapist for, you know, for what she's done, because like, you know, she tells him like, I didn't really do anything. It was more conclusions he came to by himself. You know what I mean? Just because that's what therapists generally say. We're not really doing anything. It's 9 times out of 10 people with like issues, they just need somebody to fucking talk to, and they don't have that. So like that's why a bunch of therapists actually have like strict guidelines to not even offer life advice and shit. Most of them are just there to listen, because eventually you just come to the conclusions yourself, and you're the one choosing. You know, you're the one at the wheel. You're the one that's going to be making your life decisions, so they can't be doing that for you. They're not going to fix your life. Therapists aren't here to fix your life. They're just here to help you get through it. Like, you know what I mean? Just like a shoulder to cry on, really. That's why I would never fucking do therapy. Therapy never helped me. I had it as a child and just... Ugh. But yeah, thankfully it did help Lars, and he had a breakthrough. Good for him. I'm very happy for him. And the final scene of the movie is Margot and Lars agreeing to go for a walk. And, you know, it's cute and all, but realistically, what would happen in the real world is Lars has a break, and in that break, it would only be the calm before the storm, because in real life, in situations like these, people never really recover. It's very unfortunate, but people do not recover, and they end up killing themselves. Because I've seen many cases like this one, actually. I've seen it a lot firsthand. I've seen it on the news, where people will, like... It's sad. It's sad, because when you've seen a lot of this in real life, you learn that at the end, for these people with mental disorders and mental illnesses, the end always seems... They always act very hopeful. Like, for example, a good example of this is Robin Williams. Like, they'll put on a very hopeful act. Like, oh, I'm super happy. Like, I'm very okay. Like, the depression, it's gone. I conquered it. But, like, from one day to the next, one day they're smiling, the next they're gone. And it's very unfortunate. So, I'm not promoting suicide or anything. I'm glad they didn't fucking do that ending where Lars just kills himself. But, like, like, realistically, this film just isn't very realistic. So, what would I give this film? It's a cult fucking classic. I'll say that much. Like, it's hard to give it a low rating. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I'm sorry. I know I say 7 out of 10 all the time, but, like, this movie is a fucking cult classic. But it is very unrealistic to me. As somebody who's been around people like Lars, and, Lars being very reflective of myself as a person, it just is. There are moments when I'm watching the movie and I get pulled right out of it. I have to suspend my disbelief a little too much for my own liking. So I'm like, you're asking me to put my faith in humanity. And that's kind of a big task, bro. That's kind of a huge fucking task. But it's a great film. Definitely worth a watch. Watch it. Like, I know it's weird. It seems very fucking weird. But it's a lot like Her, if you've ever watched that film, which I will be watching and reviewing. But just, it's a beautiful film that addresses, sensitive topics that not a lot of people address, that are very taboo to talk about. But it does it well. It does it well. It does it with respect. It does it very respectful. The movie is respectful. The acting is top notch. The soundtrack, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really pay a lot of attention. I'm sorry. Like, I should be paying attention more to that. But the movie was, the script was so emotionally driven, I was crying a lot. So it's a very good film. I highly recommend, like, watch it. That's not just something like, oh, okay, yeah, well, like, please, do yourself a favor and watch this film. Especially if you've ever felt lonely or depressed or feel, like, unlovable. You know what I mean? It feels like nobody will ever love you and you're just alone and you're just gonna die alone. Like, this is definitely the movie for you. Like, you'll enjoy this. It's like, wow, holy shit. Like, it's very sweet. But yeah, this has been Dom. This has been Anna Marie. And this has been Chun-Li. She's in the background. She doesn't want to be on camera right now. And yeah, I'll see you later. We're gonna get busy, losers. Why did I find this in the living room, Dom? Get your shit in order, buddy.